The one to watch. This is 16 WAPT News.
3 suspects accused in the murder of a 6-year-old boy are set to have their preliminary hearings today. The city of Jackson will be handing out free cases of bottled water. They're going to start at 8 o'clock this morning. This is a 5-gallon jug of water, and it is pretty heavy, weighs 42 pounds, and the cocaine that was seized weighs more than that. Like I said, 66 pounds. This is a video of that cocaine. Georgia's hotly contested 6th district remains Republican this morning following a high-stakes special election.
He's continuing to slide.
Watch out for the cars.
Richard, you may want to come get your car. Because I don't want this truck to slide and knock your car off of that hill. We're throwing out a few jokes right here, but the situation outside is extremely serious. Not really a laughing matter, but, sometimes you have to laugh through certain situations. And it looks like they were finally able to get this gentleman's SUV out of that ditch. We don't have baseball scripted, but I wanted to show you something real quick that's going on in Chicago right now. It is 5 o'clock in the morning, and people are already at the bar getting ready for the Cubs-Indians World Series game. We want to show you signs of survival this morning. This 10-year-old little girl, you see her right here being pulled out of the rubble after being buried under all of that rubble for 17 hours. The death toll has now risen to 247. Now, the earthquake happened right here in Italy, and it happened about 100 miles away from Rome. You can see it right here on the map. Right, time now for what is trending. Blue steel.
He was once the world's most famous male model.
This is the Samsung Galaxy Note 5. I'm actually going live on Facebook right now, and I was going to upgrade to the Note 7.
Police are working to identify the person they say burned a man's body and cut off his head.
You seem very relaxed for a guy who just had a life-changing experience.
Well, probably because I've been on the road and I'm still half asleep.
The mayor was at the water main break when work got started Friday afternoon. He joins us live now on the phone for an update. And Mayor Yarber, thanks so much for joining us this morning. My first question for you, are crews still on pace to have this water main fixed and water restored to normal by 3 p.m. on Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely, it comes to situation. But right now, Marcus, we're keeping our fingers and our toes crossed.
Okay, Mayor, thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a busy day, a lot of work ahead to get this water main fixed and get this water crisis over with, but we really appreciate you taking the time out to join us this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, thank you. You too. Now, also, over the past few days, we have spoken to owners of several businesses that have been affected by this water crisis. This morning, we're hearing from churches. 16 WAPT's Allie Ware reports at least some are canceling services. 3 suspects accused in the murder of a 6-year-old boy are set to have their preliminary hearings today. 16 WAPT's Meredith Parker is live outside Justice Court in Madison County with the details. Meredith.
That's right, Marcus.
Marcus is back to tell us what shut down part of a busy metro interstate yesterday.
Aaron, it was a fiery crash, and we have video of that in our newsroom, and you can see right here that SUV hanging off the side of that bridge right there, and it is on fire. Now, this happened around 2:30 on I-55 North near the Fortification Street exit at Waterworks Curve. Police believe an accident caused the crash. The SUV was fully engulfed in flames when crews arrived. Miraculously, the driver walked away from that crash. It took firefighters about 15 minutes to get the fire out. The driver was the only person inside the vehicle when it crashed. The wreck backed up traffic for miles and for more than an hour. Also, crews made progress Sunday on a California brush fire, and check out the video we have for you here in our newsroom, and you can see what crews are dealing with out there out west. At least 750 acres have burned. California Highway Patrol says the fire was started by a truck that caught fire just before 1 p.m. Sunday. At last report, the fire was 50% contained. The brush fire resulted in the dispatch of at least 220 firefighters. Nearly 80 homes have been affected, and 100 people have been evacuated. Well, healthcare is taking center stage again this week in Washington, Aaron.
Yes, well, football was back in the news this weekend, right, Marcus?
Yeah, it was, Aaron, and that's why I'm here in the sports office. Football season is getting closer. We can almost smell the leather on those footballs. And also over the weekend, there was a chance for some of the greats on the turf to learn from some of the other greats. The Mannings wrapped up their Manning Passing Academy on Sunday. The 4-day-long event features some of the nation's top college quarterbacks and wide receivers. Campers get a chance to learn from some of the best in college, while the college standouts learn from those already in the league. Ole Miss quarterback Shea Patterson was there to take in everything he could from his predecessors.
Right there, we take a 3-step. It's awesome. It's a dream come true.
More quarterback served as one of the counselors at the MPA. Rival school quarterback Nick Fitzgerald was also there to represent Mississippi State. And Aaron, I know we are still a couple of months away from football season, but SEC Media Days is 2 weeks away, and looking forward to that and looking forward to finally getting football underway right here in Mississippi.
Yeah, it gets people who want their fix, it gives them their fix for football.
Yes, basketball's over in those dog days of summer right now, so it can't get here quick enough.
All right, thanks, Marcus.
According to the CDC, in 2015, 351 Mississippians died from an opiate overdose, up from 336 the year before. While Mississippi hasn't experienced the wave of overdose deaths that other states have seen, there is still an extremely high level of opiate prescriptions written in the state each year. In an effort to fix the problem before it gets any worse, emergency rooms across the state have implemented new guidelines in hopes that less Mississippians will become addicts.
The opiate crisis is no longer a secret.
I'd say it's a huge problem. Probably 30% of the patients that we encounter are on chronic opiates.
An estimated 2.6 million Americans are addicted to opiates.
Opiate addiction is one of the hardest addictions to combat because not only are they mentally addicted, they're physically addicted.
Fatal opiate overdoses have quadrupled in 15 years to about 33,000 a year.
This affects our communities. This affects our children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. If we keep turning a blind eye to it, we can expect to see more people dying.
In an effort to slow down the spread of opiate abuse here in Mississippi, Jeffrey Harvey with Region 9 Mental Health Services, who is a recovering addict himself,
don't put drugs in your body,
has been going to schools around the metro, talking to kids as young as 7 in hopes that they don't become a part of a growing crisis.
I'm from the inner city. I was born here. And I honestly think I was born an addict. I go out and advocate on behalf of you can have a life. What are you willing to do? And the key answer I look for is whatever it takes.
Harvey says what has made the fight harder is how easy it has been for addicts to get opiates. In the last 15 years, the CDC says the number of people seeking help for chronic pain has not increased. However, the amount of prescriptions written that have opiates has quadrupled, prompting the CDC to introduce new guidelines for prescribing opiates for pain.
It's important for all healthcare practitioners to evaluate their personal practice and to try as best they can to adhere to those guidelines such that we're not unnecessarily creating addictions among patients.
Over time, they become addicted, from 1 pill to 2 pill to 3 pill to full-fledged addiction.
That is where Ikoko Onima, a peer support specialist, steps in to help those already battling addiction find a way to break free.
You have to be willing, and recovery is work. It's not something that just happens. And so I think a lot of times, especially with young people, they don't realize there's some action involved. You know, you have to change some things. You have to change those people, places, and things. You have to get honest about what's going on.
I have lived a life that wasn't worth living. And I honestly didn't want to live anymore. I had help with people who do the exact same thing I do, to reach their hand out to me and tell me, you can have your choice back. And I feel morally obligated to do the same thing for somebody else. Drugs is bad. Give me some. That's a big one right there. Give me some.
He's an up-and-coming rapper from Jackson, Mississippi. And if you think his new song sounds familiar,
come and let's play together in the bright sunny weather.
You're not alone.
Come and let's play together in the bright sunny weather.
It was like one of the few images I had as a child of a successful black community. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of that on TV. It's still not a lot of that on TV right now.
This song has been listened to 1 million times on YouTube. And this week, on Tuesday, Silas released this video online. It starts with a prologue where Silas acts out a police-involved shooting of an unarmed man with a phone. Silas said when he got the instrumental from producer Don Shea, the mid-90s TV theme inspired him to write a message for his own community today.
The story I want to tell is I want black Americans to know that it is possible to be successful, you know, despite, you know, all the things that are going on right now.
Welcome to the land of the colored. All we do is win, never suffer, ain't no cops in the cover. Where every kid on the block never had a clock. In all families got a father and a mother, but we...
Today, the song and his message are already registering nationwide.
Now, as an artist, you can get to millions of people in an instant through social media. So we just got a Peace and Vibe about Silas, and that's going to help the song song to continue to grow on a national level.
But if you listen to the explicit version of the song, you hear a chorus and lyrics that are not so kid-friendly.
Of course, there is colorful language in it, but it's hip-hop, and sometimes, that is what, is used to kind of get that message across. It might not be for everyone.
I think the most important thing is that the issue is being talked about. And, even if I'm getting negative comments, there are other people that are standing up and they're providing positive comments for the negative.